DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Yo, what's
Good
happening?
morning, everybody.
What's happening? You feeling all right today?
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing?
I'm still kind of suffering a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, it's from the fucking the Easter nuts in our mouth. Fucking
Yeah. I'm still kind of like
a
my
little.
stomach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me. Why don't you two fucking tell me how the fuck your guys' week was with that shit? Like I'm really curious to hear like how bad it was for you guys. You know, like
you guys watched it. You guys know what happened. First off, it was one of the funniest things I've ever done in my life. One of the coolest things to ever do with one of the boys.
I'm still so fucking proud of you, but like seriously, dude. Like
we did that, man.
You fucking you really you sucked it up that day and said fuck it, and like yeah.
Even if I just like ate one nut or licked it or sucked on it, it was still I still suffered from it.
I know. I
We were there.
I rewatched parts of the episode a couple times just as like because I was trying to remember like. Do you remember when I said like I couldn't remember the last 30 minutes? I still don't remember like that 30 minutes. Like I can watch it happening in real time on like, but I still like that shit like blacked me
30
out.
minutes where you were like salivating all over the fucking place, looking like you died. Like
dude,
your soul had left your body with the fucking fifth nut.
that was like so. Yeah, oh yeah. Is this where you told me I look like? Who'd you say like
Drax?
Like
Drax. I mean, look at that. Look at
you. Joe's sweating. Joe's sweating. You're hopping around like you just got shot in the ass with a fucking arrow. You know what I mean? Like it's like there was just abject suffering that day. You know what I mean?
It was one of the. I've never suffered like that in my life before, but like the next day I shit that morning. Like it was like, bro, like it was so bad. It like I've never. It felt like someone is like the sheriff of Nottingham got a hot sword and stabbed me in the asshole with it. Like that is what it felt like. Like if this is what you guys go through, and you guys like have it even worse. Like it was so bad, but I couldn't eat anything straight for like until like 2-3 days ago, and even then,
So,
no, yeah, I'm done.
so that next day, that Saturday, I probably evacuated my bowels a total of 14 fucking times in a 6-hour period. Like, the missus wanted to go do some stuff, like go out, go to the bar, go to the arcade, or the barcade around the corner and shit like that. I refused to leave the comfort of the home because I needed to be within seconds of my toilet. Just from it coming out. Like, and I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fucking entertaining going back and rewatching some of it.
Oh my god.
Especially John's reaction after the fucking first level. Like, John straight up was about to die, it seemed like. And then we had Frenchie in the fucking background, just took him right to the face. No fucking reaction whatsoever.
That first bite.
You stayed with it after. And
but
said, fuck it every time. You're like, I'll do a little bit more. I'll do a little.
But
bit
you
more.
saw the moment, Squillini. Like that moment, I took that like first bite, and I had like maybe 5 or 6 nuts in my mouth. I was like, oh no.
What have I done? What have I done?
Now there was a moment that was really funny, Squillini.
You know he was cussing my ass at that moment.
Oh man, no. To be honest with you, I was cursing Jay out first,
and it wasn't even Jay's idea.
I know.
Hey, we take some lumps sometimes. That's just what happens.
I was cursing Jay in my head, like, why are we still here? 100 and something episodes later, and we're doing this shit.
Jay's catching strays because fucking this is like I'm not joking though. Like I'm not like no more hot belly shit. I'm not doing that. Again.
No, but I will say, Squillini, honestly, thank you for bringing that up because it was fun. It was entertaining.
It was fun. It provided a good entertainment value, even though all three of us were fucking suffering.
Oh, fucking suffering is like a very like understatement of the fucking year, bro. I don't want to like. I literally like lost like 30 minutes of my life, like because I fucking did that goddamn challenge, dude. Like it's again, you can see it happening in real time, but it ain't my brain anymore, dude. Like, cause it was abject suffering.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing, like, you know, us as content creators, there's sometimes we're gonna do stupid shit like that. Right. Now, granted, I'm fully on board with you on this, Jay. No more hot belly shit.
Yeah.
Like
getting too old.
I'll go buy like pickled pig's feet.
Yeah.
I'll go eat a jar of pickled pig's feet or something on the show. Yeah, because it's not hot. It's not hot. It's just fucking pig's feet that are pickled. I'll do some stupid shit like that.
You are not fit for this game.
I'm not doing hot shit ever again.
I think I'm getting just too long in the tooth, and I actually enjoy spicy food, so I don't want to ever ruin that by like fucking up my bowels to where like you know I'm not allowed to eat it anymore. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So it's like that challenge was what I would consider like a little extreme. That was like a little bit like, okay, the fucking chip challenge is kind of like a ha-ha. You know, watch his ears smoke for like 15 or 20 minutes. This one was like, it wasn't
feeling
like
it for days after.
It wasn't like smoke coming out of my ears. It was like there was a distinct like, this is just over the top for no good reason. Like these people, whoever made this challenge, are basically just like dickheads and taking people's money.
Yeah,
getting away with it. So
I mean, even though after doing that last weekend, yesterday we were cooking out, doing some stuff, and I had this bright idea because I bought some Reaper pods, some dried Reaper pods. They're technically sold, so you can like use them to get the seeds out and grow your own Reapers, which I'm gonna do that with one or two of them. But I took one of the Reaper pods and I crushed it up in a pound of bison. And for me and the neighbor to have a fucking burger while we were in the middle of cooking and shit.
Yeah. Do you
made it halfway through my burger before I fucking couldn't do it anymore because
shit.
my body was literally like, no, we just did this fucking last week. What the fuck are you doing? Kind of thing.
Why?
Yeah. Now he fucking ate his and the other half of mine and just barely broke his.
So I have a question. So when do you need to grow those in a specific season?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could probably do like an indoor greenhouse type
Yeah.
situation and do them inside.
I'd love to do
year
something
round.
like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, indoor greenhouse.
Shut up, Jay.
Hydroponics. You know, yeah, whatever, John.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever,
I
John.
could technically, I could use hydroponics to do it year round. I'm still debating if I'm gonna do that. The neighbor, he took 2 of the pods from me, and he put them into a jar of pickles, and he's gonna let them soak for about a month in some pickles to get some of that spice. Because when he ate one of those bison, he ate his bison burger and then the other half of mine that I couldn't finish because my body was like, motherfucker, why? We just did this last week.
Yeah.
I need a break. And he barely broke a damn sweat. So like,
No
part
shit.
of me wants to buy the Death Nut Challenge and just give it to him to have him do it to see if he can handle that.
I'm gonna say that would be unkind even to like your enemy. Like it was like I'm literally like I'm done with spicy challenges because of that shit. Like they went like a little too far in my opinion. Like that was like,
I mean,
that was
psychological warfare. I say,
it was too much. It was too much.
I say we if we ever go to war with Russia, we tie Putin down and force him to eat the fucking Death Nut Challenge.
Give him the whole box at once.
Oh yeah, that's not
Just
even
give him the whole box at once. That's what I'm here for.
in his anus. Like freaking like it's all but that gets a whole nother you know thing. But no man, my shit was black for 5 days. Like my shit was black.
Yours was black
for 5 days.
Mine was clear.
You know, yeah, but do you know what black is indicative of? Like at some point, the fucking shit in your contained within your intestines had blood in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I do not recommend that challenge. They fucking overdid it. Like it was fucking stupid. Like it was like stupid. Like, you can see like when I took it to the face, but oh boy. Like,
no, one of the funniest things to me was Jay. I gotta find it. Is Jay doing his?
Oh yeah, just trying to fucking get it down. Yeah, that was the other thing. These fucking
What's going on, Drew Davis? Hey man, make sure you check out last week's episode if you want to die.
These sadistic
Of laughter.
Whoever came up with this challenge, like sadistic motherfuckers, they made these goddamn peanuts so fucking dry. So So by the time I got to like level 4 and like level 5 especially, like you can't chewing it, you're just masticating. It was just like it was slowly turning into more powder and it was already covered in fucking powder. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like I was tilting my head back so that as I was chewing, shit was just like basically falling down my throat.
I'm looking
and like these motherfuckers, dude. Like like
I'm looking for it right now. I'm looking for it. There we go. Wait, you're ready? Here it is.
Eating like a duck. Just eating like a duck. Like you know, like
look at them go. Look at them go.
Yeah. There you go. Because it was bad, and it was bad. Like it was bad right away. It was so bad. Like this was just abject suffering, dude, for no good goddamn reason, dude. Like I'm done with I'm done with torturing myself, dude.
I can honestly say though, out of the 3 of us, I'm the only one that didn't puke.
Yeah,
I didn't puke. I was just spitting. I didn't.
Are you sure? Because in that 30-minute period, it looked like you puked.
No, I hadn't. Remember, I pulled the wastebasket in front of me. I was just spitting. I was trying not to puke.
Bro, you were spitting like a horse
spitting.
trader, bro.
No,
You were over there spitting like a goddamn
You
llama.
can see me. I on level 4 and 5 both. I almost like you can see like I'm like I struggle for a second, but I never actually regurgitated. I was drooling and spitting. Like
speaking
what's going on, Brandon?
Speak of the devil, he shall arrive. We were just talking about you right before the show, actually.
Yeah, that fucking shit was fucking like no. And we're not.
It was funny for everybody watching. For those of us that participated,
I'm not doing.
It was death.
No, like I'm 42. I'm 42 years old. I'm not getting any younger, and like my shit was black for fucking 5 days.
Yeah, there was a moment where I started I had like an insane moment, and I just started laughing uncontrollably. It was like
when, that was when I started speaking like caveman. It was when I started speaking.
Oh yeah,
caveman. I couldn't talk, and it was just like,
and you said like Jay, your mouth had like closed up. It looked like your lips were swelling, and you just could not fucking make a coherent sentence for a solid 25 fucking minutes.
It was
great. He didn't talk. Brandon's like, what? Wait, what did I do? Oh no, you didn't do nothing wrong. We were saying because of your stature and of what you do for the military, maybe you should come on the show next week if you got some free time.
Hey, there you go. I like the sound of that.
Look at all the hearts coming in from Frenchie Sanchez.
We haven't had a guest in a while actually, so like that'd be actually kind of cool. I'm curious about the fucking the AGSUs, man. Like that fucking new unit, like the new Army uniform, man, is like if I regret one thing for my career is I ETS'd right before they like made it mandatory to have that one, because like I would love to be able to wear that fucking. I see some of the soldiers and the NCOs wearing that fucking uniform now, and it is. So
Are you talking about the pinks and greens?
Yeah, and dude, it is so sharp. Like those fucking uniforms look so goddamn tight, especially when you got a fucking rack, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like it looks fucking sick, dude. Like you
get that nice,
just looking crisp and clean, dude. Like the.
Oh, he said I just got them shits for free.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's the joys of being a fucking recruiter.
Yeah, he probably fucking did, and that's what I'm like. If I missed it,
when you lie to kids to get them to join, that's the kind of perks you get.
12 years goes quick, and if I missed one thing, I missed the pinks and greens, like by about this much, and it was like, oh, but I wish I had a set. Oh, I wish I had a set, dude, they look sharp. They did
now speaking of sets, it's you're first today, aren't you, Jay?
Oh yeah, I am. Oh my
God.
And
then we got the roadhouse. Yeah, and we got the roadhouse later. But what you got for us in your beginning segment?
I'll try. You know what? I'm gonna try to make it quick because I did have a. This week in review is going to be a little bit different for Jay. This week in review is like a life in review, so I'll try to make it quick. I was visited by multiple people from the Army this week, passing through Kansas City. Some staying, some doing like a turn and burn. I was visited by people from that I went to high school with. Okay, and like was able to just sit down and catch up for the last like 20 years. You know what I mean? Over a delicious breakfast on the Kansas side, here in the KC Metro. And from my first deployment, one of our interpreters has been fighting very hard and struggling to get here for a long time. And this week he finally landed in the United States, and he is safe he's safe and so like we're very happy, and like that's
oh, wrong button, I'm sorry.
DJs, huh?
I was going for this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I normally don't talk about personal stuff and some of my emotional turmoil, but this week was a lot, and so I think I got overloaded, and I actually had a bad day because of it, immediately following like some of this, and it was not anybody's fault, and I was probably just like overstimulated with everything. And in the meantime, while all this is going on, you know, this is after the stupid hot nut challenge or whatever.
Didn't you do a VFW meeting the morning after too?
Yeah, I did, and then I got Nikki. Nikki decided to watch Band of Brothers with me. So we're like,
Hell yeah.
So like through this entire last week, we've been like slowly working. We just finished it last night. So like this entire like last week, from the Friday that we pre-recorded the episode to today being Sunday, about 10 or 11 days later, like has been a goddamn emotional roller coaster for me. And it's like I'm sitting here on a Sunday right now, like kind of like, did all this shit even like happen? Because it's like it's very much like a there was a lot of catharsis, put it that way. There was a lot of catharsis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of like what we do on this show sometimes, and I apologize because I don't want to say a lot about it, but when we talk about the origins of this show and why we do this every week, and why a lot of the reason why we go live is to get a lot of stuff out sometimes, right? And that's I don't always get a chance to let my shit out the way I probably should, and so sometimes it comes out without me asking it to, right? And those are the bad days, and sometimes those days get really bad, even when they follow immediately after some of the best days or best memories of your entire fucking life. And it's easy to forget that in the moment when you're having one of those bad days, how bad it feels, like. And it's easy to forget that like the next day is not going to be nearly fucking. It's literally just your body. It's like your body weeps sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It ain't just your fucking eyes fucking leaking water. Okay, it's like your entire body is on fire and crying, right? And it's like I don't know how to describe that other than like that's kind of how I would describe it. And there's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing whatever, but this was a fucking week for Jay. So, and I still worked. So so anywho, we'll talk about work later. That was kind of my week. Band of Brothers for my yearly like rewatching of like Band of Brothers, right?
We got to go back and watch that Band of Brothers.
John, can you volume down like maybe like 5? Right there. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we can talk about Band of Brothers maybe next week or whatever. It's like my yearly like rewatching of it or whatever. But Nikki had never seen it, so my beautiful girlfriend, got to finally see Band of Brothers and see what it's all about. And of course, the last two, we watched the last 2 episodes last night. And if you're familiar with the TV series, the last 2 episodes are kind of gut wrenching at times. And then if you haven't watched Band of Brothers, like highly recommend. It's a mini series on HBO. And if you want to see what our generation's Band of Brothers is like, watch Generation Kill on the same goddamn platform. So, Joe, fucking, that was my week. Fucking, I'll turn it over to you. Fucking appreciate it, guys.
I have to say, we are 23 minutes in, and Jay spoke. That is a world record, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
I'm fucking with.
Did I talk
Yeah, man, I'm fucking with you. Oh man, listen. If you didn't talk a lot, you wouldn't be a podcaster. So simple as that. So
he's got a very valid point.
It's catharsis, man. Like sometimes you just gotta get
there you go.
Catharsis.
I'm fucking with you, man.
I know you ain't lying though. Sometimes like you and me have had many conversations over almost the last 3 years about like, okay, today you talked way too much. You know what I mean? Where it was like, and so I was like, yeah, I should probably if I could pull the reins in a little bit, So like I try to remind myself, especially when I get emotional, that I need to like immediately start pulling back, because it's like that's not quite what the podcast can be for that sometimes, but that's not what it's ultimately.
I didn't think anyone could out-talk Jay until I met James C. Burns.
Oh, dude, I love him so much, dude. Like that dude to this day, dude. Like I know if I ever see that dude like in an airport bar or like, you know, like if he's flying to like coming to Kansas City, like me and him will just fucking pick up right where the fuck we left off. Like too fucking easy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude's like me and him would be like two peas in a pod.
He's definitely on my list of sit down and have a fucking beer or two with. Like
100. One fucking.
It's going to be great conversation with Mr. Burns over a couple beers.
Hell yeah!
I wonder if we could like find a way to get him out to Kansas City and like just make it happen
when we go out there. Yeah, like hey, that time is coming, folks. It's coming.
Anywho, so Joe,
what you got, Joe?
Joe, what do you got, dude?
This time, the delay was John's fault more than yours, Jay.
Yes, it was.
So you know, this week was a pretty uneventful-ish week. So I have started back trying to knock out or put together a schedule for my side content with my streaming and my video game content. Still trying to get it worked out to where I'm back 100% in the saddle on my personal shit.
Sure.
On that side.
Good luck. I'm like 100% on personal shit. Like, when have we ever done that? Did you ever you guys ever fucking like try to go to fucking CIF? You know, where they're like, you have
Jesus,
this, and you're like, oh, man. I lost my shit like 3 years ago, bro. Like, no, I don't. I don't have any of that. Go ahead.
My favorite from CIF was, you know, the gear that never got taken out of the fucking plastic wrap, yet they still tell you got to clean it because it's dirty. Like, motherfucker, it's still in the goddamn plastic wrap, vacuum sealed. How is it dirty? That's a story for another day.
I'm trying to be quiet. Remember, I'm trying to be quiet. Like I'm
So you know, started back streaming. Actually doing currently on my channel over on Tech Guy Gaming over on Twitch. I'm doing.
He's back, folks. He's back.
Of God of War,
nice.
the one that came out on the PS4.
That game is the reason I bought a PS4 after my last deployment. I got God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. So like,
I'm working on a playthrough of that. Went and saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie last weekend. Actually, that was the only reason I left the house on Saturday.
Tell us about it. How was it?
You're scaring me. So at first, I was extremely upset that Mario didn't have the Italian voice and it just sounded like fucking Chris Pratt. But after watching the movie, I'm glad they didn't overdo the fake ass Italian accent. Jack Black as fucking Bowser, fucking hilarious. Pure Jack Black, like it was 100% Jack Black. Charlie Day as Luigi, you can tell it was.
Black. It's kind of hard not to know. Like, yeah, he was in an episode of the Mandalorian, right? Which we're going to talk about later.
Exactly.
Like,
that's right, yeah, because we didn't get that part either.
Funny. I kind of find that funny that the Super Mario Bros. Movie releases on Thursday,
and he was on that
Wednesday
episode
before on Mandalorian. He was on that fucking episode. But it's Jack Black. I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy, in my opinion, is a fucking legend. He's one of those musicians / actors that you never really know what to expect. That you really don't know what to expect out of whatever project he's in.
Well, I slight disagree on that one because I know exactly what to expect from Jack Black because it's like the dude's he plays the same character in every fucking thing he does.
Yeah.
So like,
but
you know my favorite Jack Black fucking role was? You remember in The Jackal when he got his fucking arm blown off by Bruce Willis from like a mile away? That was my favorite Jack Black character. That was my favorite character.
Now,
move in front of the car before you bleed out. That was like, good job, Jack. Good job, Jack. That was
now with the movie. I will say there were a lot of nostalgic nods to retro gaming and Mario as a whole.
Right on.
At one point, there's a point where it's a nod to Luigi's Mansion. In the real world, so in actual New York City, where Mario and Luigi are from, the pizzeria is called Punch Out Pizzeria. One of the guys in the pizzeria is playing the original Jumpman arcade machine, and it is actually Jumpman that's playing the fucking arcade machine.
And who's he played by?
I don't remember the actor that's playing him.
The actor who plays the voice actor who does Jumpman is the original Super Mario voice actor.
Jesus Christ, that's freaking cool, dude.
In
So,
that scene.
there was a lot of little nostalgic nods.
You guys are fucking nerds, but I love it, and this is why I love it.
Someone's got to do it for this show, Jay.
The fucking passion. That's what keeps me coming back too. Like I'm like,
I mean,
passion,
and
you know what I mean?
It was definitely interesting because there was nods to other Mario games. There was a Mario Kart entire fucking montage in it.
Sounds fun. Well,
in essence, you could say that the whole game was in the movie.
So
the whole franchise, not just one game.
So I'm saying, like with Mario Kart, like how like in Mario Kart, I don't want to go into. I'm not going into spoilers or anything, but how you do everything in Mario Kart, how they put that whole thing, yeah.
Literally, like the way you choose your kart in Mario Kart, like in the movie, that was. When they're putting together or building their carts, it was that exact type of sequence where it's
one of the
3 dials scenes. And you pick your cart, your tires, and your fucking glider.
I thought that was one of the coolest, like, let's put this in here because it could work moments that they could ever put in a video game.
And the track that they're on is none other than fucking Rainbow Road during this sequence.
Oh, it would have to be. Of course it would be. I would expect nothing less than that. Like, what on the 10-inch scale, fucking, where are we going with this one, Joe? Fucking, I'm dying to hear it.
From a smaller picture, I would say an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Because of the nostalgia and how well they wrote the story for the movie, and
a lot of Easter eggs. There were a lot of Easter eggs from the old movie
Easter eggs
too.
And stuff. There were Easter eggs from the.
We're not going to talk about the older movie, dude. Like I'm not
from the.
No, we won't. But of course not. But what I'm trying to say is that if you watch the Super Mario movie now, there's a lot of there's a couple like shot by shot scenes that look exactly the same. So
I wouldn't wish people watching the old Mario Brothers movie freaking on. It's same as the Death Nut Challenge about like that's there's no need for you to abjectly suffer. Do not watch the old Mario Brothers movie. Like,
so I'll say suffer. 8 out of 10 for the movie itself. Now, the thing I liked with this is they did open it up to do a Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
They did.
Boring.
I think it could work.
It could work better than a lot of these live action cinematic universes like DC and fucking Marvel.
Is there a DC universe? Like are you like there is no DC universe? They keep fucking falling flat like a hockey puck, bro.
If Mike Tyson doesn't do Punch Out the movie, I'm not watching it.
Dude, there is not going to fuck these cinematic universes. Fuck you, corporate suckers of Satan's cock, sucking the tit of fucking like capitalism, dude. You guys fucking suck and you ruin everything. Fucking stop. What fucking cinematic universe? Fuck no. That shit fucking ruined Marvel. That shit ruined Marvel. That's half the reason I'm watching the stupid ass fucking Marvel movies or TV shows. They fucking ruin everything.
I fucked up by saying cinematic universe, didn't I?
Yeah. Triggered. Why is everything gotta be a fucking like? Can we milk some more out of the tit? Can we milk some more out of the tit? Like, why is it all gotta be like that?
So with the movie though, they did go ahead and set up for a second one because of the after credit scenes. So in the end credits, there's there's an end credit scene and then there's an after, and in that we see an egg hatch and Yoshi appears. So of course, we had an entire fucking Mario movie and Yoshi didn't make an appearance at all. So there's going to have to
just
be
the species. Just the species. That's about it. But still fun.
John,
it was a fun movie.
John,
I did see it actually. I saw it Easter Sunday.
Would you agree with Squilliny's assessment?
Absolutely.
Like,
I have nothing else to add or take away from what Squillini said. Like his perspective of it is exactly the one that I have too. Same rating. It was actually fun to watch.
Cool.
I bet in we watched it in IMAX, but I bet in a 3D or a 4D environment, it probably would have been much more fun.
Interesting. I take a lot of your guys' suggestions to heart, dude. And there have been times where there was shit that like I never would have
care of it. They took care of it.
I've watched or played more video games or watched more movies because of you guys and what like how you describe it than I ever would have shit that I never would have touched, dude. Like,
well, see, and that's the thing. Like, I've watched movies based off of your suggestion too. So another movie I watched this week, Violent Night, even though it's not Christmas time. I finally watched fucking Rampaging Viking Santa kick the living dog shit out of fucking some mercenaries. Like, motherfucker went goddamn hard in this fucking movie.
Hard in the paint, homie. Hard in the fucking paint, homie. Like,
oh my god, I would kill for a fucking second one to come out.
Oh, like now that's a fucking cinematic universe I want to fucking be a part of, bro. Fucking thank you. Shit
next
like
one,
that, like Cocaine
not
Bear.
Violent Night.
Like,
but let's expand on it,
bro.
Let's do a fucking
the Easter bunny.
Yeah, the Easter bunny just goes fucking ham.
Fucking thank you, dude. Like, can we
or the fucking a turkey that the president pardons ends up killing a lot of fucking motherfuckers. Do some shit like that.
Gentlemen,
Republican turkey coming to a theater near you.
There's a reason. There's a reason the miniseries about like our peers is called Generation Kill, and not
yeah.
Like there's a fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like anywho, tell us about Violent Night, dude. I want to hear Joe's take on fucking Violent Night.
I mean, it was exactly what you explained. It was great. Part of me wishes I went and saw it in fucking theaters now, because just imagining that entire movie on, you know, a 200 fucking inch screen, like
so deliciously stupid, like so deliciously stupid.
It was definitely campy at points.
Yeah.
And it was definitely one of those like B-list fucking horror movies meets fucking Christmas, but it was done right. It wasn't done in a way where it's like, why the fuck did I watch this? It was done in a way where I want fucking more. Like, I want more David Harbour as Santa beating the living shit out of people with a fucking sledgehammer.
Just breaking ankles
off his ass.
Breaking ankles like Kathy Bates in Misery, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking smash.
Like, I definitely will, if they end up deciding to do a fucking sequel, I'm gonna go see fucking Violent Night 2 in theaters if they do it.
Yes, sir.
I will pay the fucking $30 to go to the movie theater to watch a sequel to that fucking movie. Or if they do like fucking an Easter Bunny version, I'm still gonna go fucking see it, because that is a cinematic universe I could get behind.
Fucking rally up on me. Let's go. Down.
And then
what do you
also Knock at the Cabin?
Give me a.
I thought we talked about that.
10-inch scale. What would you give?
Violent Night gets a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh my god! Did you guys fucking hear that shit? Did you guys fucking hear that shit? Fucking. Joe gave one of the. Cocaine Bear's in the same boat too with me. Cocaine Bear's in the same boat.
I've still yet to finish watching Cocaine Bear.
It's the same. It's a fucking same shit. Just like the craziest fucking story you can imagine, but it's fun to fucking watch. And the more
it was definitely, it had me on the edge of my seat. Every time he would kill somebody, and then there'd go into these sequences of like in betweens while he's like running around trying to figure out how he's gonna make his next move.
It's Die Hard Santa Claus. It's like
Yeah.
Die Hard with Santa Claus, dude. Like,
And then the nod to fucking Home Alone with the little girl in the fucking attic, and old dude was like, "You think I'm gonna fall for this?" When he sees the fucking the screw sticking out of the step, but he doesn't notice that the very first step she had fucking sliced just enough to where the second he stepped on it, he's gonna fucking take his ass out. Like, I was hurting for old dude when that fucking screw went through his fucking through his chin.
Ooh.
See some pretty nasty stuff sometimes, man. Like, you know, like.
But
My
it's
God.
it's definitely on my, like, now that's like gonna be a Christmas tradition to rewatch that fucking movie.
Violent Night. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I do. Like, no shame in my game, dude. Like,
They
I
literally
took my kids to watch that in the theater, and like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, people can say what they want about that. I'll say that fucking, like, our family is not a traditional regular family. We like my kids had to grow up with me being in the Army, and like and that's kind of how we roll, and like, so like they're gonna remember that probably for the rest of their lives, because we are probably gonna make this like a Christmas, like, this is a movie we're gonna watch every year.
See,
I agree.
That's the thing, Jay. Like you even said, they took concepts of fucking Die Hard and made it an official fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah,
even
dude.
though in my book, Die Hard is a fucking Christmas movie.
Die Hard
I
is a
don't
Christmas
give a shit
movie.
what
So-
fucking
oh,
Bruce
no.
Willis says.
No, Joe. Fucking anybody that argues with you that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, fucking like
He's an idiot.
beyond.
I'm going that far.
Like Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Like,
It has everything that a Christmas movie has: Christmas parties, somebody trying to make it home to their
If that-
family.
Christmas
If that's-
songs.
If that's the point, that they could do this.
Yeah,
Walk out the fucking door.
the fuck out. Like, yeah, no. Like,
Um,
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It is every
So
it's every bit as much of a Christmas movie as a Christmas story. I'll
Yeah.
say that. It is a Christmas movie. Like, beyond. Go
So,
ahead, Joe. Any-
Definitely that movie was good. Super Mario was good. Outside of that, I mean, I didn't really do a lot more. I've been catching up on Picard. I'm all the way caught up now. Now it's just every week as they release the new episode on Wednesday, I watch it. And
are you still enjoying it?
yes, so this last episode, this is a bit of a spoiler warning for anybody that isn't watching it. So if we can throw spoiler warning up there, guys, somebody that's got text
Do your
control.
job, Jay.
My job.
Do your motherfucking job.
There, I got it.
Wow.
I got it.
Wow. I love how I got roped into being the producer all of a sudden. Like, that's funny. Like my non-tech ass. Like,
So
like,
it's, you know, the season started out, first episode of this season was called The Next Generation. And, you know, okay, so what? It's Picard. Now, the whole season they've been kind of battling the odds. They're, you know, the changelings are back. They're trying to take over. They've infiltrated Star Command or Starfleet.
didn't that happen?
Well, this last episode,
Didn't that shit happen in Deep Space Nine already?
the Deep Space Nine covered like the Changeling War, where finally Starfleet and the Changelings made a pact kind of thing.
I have to pee. I'll be back.
And they ended the whole fucking war going on that was going on at the time. So changelings are back. They've infiltrated Starfleet. This last episode, though, we found out why. The changelings were working with the fucking Borgs.
Yeah, because the fucking Borg can't fucking beat what's that species called that like fucks the Borg up? Like there's like one species that like the Borg like cannot like they absolutely like thrash.
Oh, but see, here's the kicker. So obviously, anybody that has Star Trek knowledge remembers Next Generation and then the movies following, how Picard became assimilated and then became unassimilated and all that jazz.
Yeah, best of both worlds, part 1 and 2. Fucking season finale of fucking of season 3 and fucking season premiere of fucking season 4. Star Trek: The Next Generation. You're welcome.
Yep. so it's come out that Picard in his blood still has Borg in him. Well, the changelings have gotten a hold of this and they integrated it into the teleporters. So now anybody that's been teleported on or off of a fucking vessel is starting to be assimilated. This last episode, a Borg have completely taken over Starfleet. Everybody's turning into part Borg, part human. We've got Riker, Worf, Picard, LaForge, Data's back. Like the whole original crew from Next Generation is back, and they go to the Starfleet Museum because all the ships now are interlinked together and stuff, and the Borg have taken over the entire fleet.
Yes.
And and so the old crew has now gone to the Starfleet Museum, which LaForge is over now in this time frame. He has completely renovated and fixed up the Enterprise D.
D.
Because it's one of D from actual Next Generation, like Picard's ship.
Didn't that shit crash and like explode in Generations or some shit? Like what the fuck?
No, they had to
separate the saucer. I remember that, and the saucer crashed
and they
on a
ended
fucking
up
planet.
So Starfleet recovered.
What the fuck?
Starfleet ended up recovering the parts. Now they put it back together, and now the old crew is piloting the D to try to take out the Borg after they just took over the entire fucking fleet. It's nostalgic.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm being a dick for no reason, but it's fucking bad. Like
This isn't funny at all.
It's one of those things where if you're a Star Trek fan, I will say this season is hitting on all the major points,
all the nostalgia
that they can fucking hit on.
Dude, God, do you guys not see why I get jaded about this shit? Like, do you guys not see? Like, because I try not to be jaded about. I like nostalgia too. I don't like fucking nostalgia like slapping me in the fucking face, like forcefully. You know, like a fucking like a college frat house rapist. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
The way I look at it is
that hard, bro. Like all the time. This is not just Star Trek. It's every fucking show. It's every fucking movie. It's every.
I mean, even in the Star Wars universe, they're fucking milking the shit out of nostalgia.
Fuck, man.
But see, here's my thing. You know, for the people that are diehard Star Trek fans, it's definitely good. I would only give this season so far like a 5 out of 10 because they're overplaying the nostalgia.
Thank you.
I mean, we start the season out with Picard convincing Riker to help him, you know, go on this mission to respond to a distress call from Dr. Crusher, you know, the doctor, one of the doctor from fucking Next Generation.
Crusher. It's Beverly Crusher, dude.
Yep. To then we've got fucking Worf showing up. To LaForge is back. To
I'm good.
They found Data and they've brought him back.
Whatever, dude.
Like literally the entire they've overdone the nostalgia for this 5 out of 10. Like if they kept it to maybe just Riker and LaForge coming back, or Riker and Worf,
Jesus
or just
Christ,
two other characters.
You don't have to face fuck me with a family reunion, okay? Like I can.
That's exactly what they fucking have done.
I can suck my own dick, fucking like when I.
It's like going to a fucking family reunion for a family full of swingers where everybody shares everything.
Yeah,
like help me, stepsis, I'm stuck.
Overstimulated. Overstimulated.
Not to make John quit. See his fucking facial expressions over there.
Like, what the hell is going on?
So that's
Jay
that's
doesn't
it
like
for
Jay doesn't like getting
me
face
for this
fucked at
week.
family reunions, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean that's it for me for this week. I've been watching that. I've been watching fucking Mando. Watched those movies. Got back in the saddle, starting streaming again. That's the base level. What about you, John?
Oh, it was a busy week for me, man. I'll start off with my reviews. First review I got is for the TV show Hello Tomorrow, which stars Billy Crudup. It finally finished on Apple TV Plus, and it's a retro-futuristic tale of a man who's a door-to-door salesman who sells property on the moon. Except there's no fucking property on the moon. So So, do you ever wonder what the Fallout world would look like before the bombs dropped?
Yeah,
That's
a
what
little bit.
that's what this
A little
show
bit.
is. You get
Oh,
little
you've talked
1950.
about this.
Yeah.
You have mentioned
So
this before.
yeah, so the show has a great theme. It has a fantastic story about a stupid father who doesn't know how to communicate with his son and who uses the lying salesman technique to get his way with everybody. His mother, who's just as fucked up as he is, and the son who doesn't even know that the guy who's been standing around and his own boss is his father. So there's a lot going on in this story. A lot of deceit, a lot of funny things, and a woman gets killed by an automated fucking truck, a driverless car. So there's a big, and that's a major plot line of the story too. This woman who gets killed by this minivan being controlled by nobody, by an unmanned car. Uh, I'm going to give the show Bots Will Kill You. I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
What would make it better? I think that there's a lot of plot holes. There's a couple plot holes in there that they didn't answer. We don't even know if we're getting a season 2. It hasn't been announced yet. It hasn't been spoken about. It's got a fantastic budget, a fantastic story, a great cast. I say give it a watch. It's on Apple TV Plus, and there's other stuff on Apple TV Plus coming out soon, like Silo, which I can't wait for that, which is based on the novel of the same name. Extrapolations has 1 episode left. Can't wait for that one. My next review is Sons of the Forest.
What's this?
So I never played the first one. Apparently, did you play the first one, Scolini?
I have played it a little here and there.
Can you give me a little background of it? Or the only thing that I know about the first one, it's about cannibals in the forest.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So the second one, it's a survival-based game, and you start off in the game in a helicopter. Jay pressed the wrong button again. Here we go. You start the game off in a helicopter. You're probably some type of military force or whatever, and your helicopter crashes in the forest. And so, your first, what is your first instinct if you survive a helicopter crash in the middle of the forest and you don't know where the fuck you are, Scolini? What's your first instinct?
Shelter.
So I'm playing with Brandon Wayner and Kenny Fig of Yumi and Lore, and the first thing that was brought up was we need to build shelter. You can chop trees, and the mechanics on the trees when you're chopping them are actually kind of cool and fun. You're chopping down the trees, you pick up the trees, and then you could set up to build a shelter or stuff like this. So we started building a cabin. Now, while you're building this stuff, you're making noise, you're attracting cannibals, you're attracting tribesmen of that area, and it's bringing dire consequences sometimes. And if you do end up getting killed by them, you wake up in a random camp. Sometimes it's beneficial to die because when you wake up in these random camps, you get like a bunch of like more materials of other camps, like tarp, stick, fire, and things like that. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just trying to survive. You have weapons. You could actually craft weapons. One of the coolest things that I've noticed about the game too is that you are given a rucksack, right? and the rucksack opens up and it opens up and you have like all these materials, so you could actually choose which materials to use to, you know, to craft your items. You could craft hatchets, hammers. At one point, you make campfires. You could pretty much do it all in this game. And from what I understand, you could like just build out the whole map. You know,
Yeah.
enemies are random and fucking scary as hell. You don't know what to expect from them, and to be honest with you, there are times when like you're building your camp, and you put your foot down and you turn around, and next thing you know, oh shit, there's a cannibal fucking eating me. You do lose your ship, but when you wake up in the new respawn camp, you could get your bag back. I don't know how big the map is. I haven't explored too much of it, but I do know for a fact that you can go into other spots and take other things. You could chop down the trees, you could make fires, you could make tents. I mean, I'm in the middle of building a cabin right now, like a whole fucking like 3-bedroom cabin in this game. It's kind of interesting, the whole aspect. We haven't gotten to the point where it starts getting really fucked up and scary. But it will not be long until that happens. You know what I mean? So I'm actually right now going to be giving Sons of the Forest a 9 out of 10. It's a great concept. It's actually really fun when you're playing with people and fucking frightening when you're playing by yourself. That's that. Now, I have finally completed Red Dead Redemption 2.
What? Hold on. I want you to fucking repeat that goddamn fucking sentence. Like, say that slow. For us slow people.
I have finally completed Red Dead Redemption 2. It's finally done. I finally did it. I have finally finished the cinematic experience of Red Dead Redemption. I'm not gonna.
Now this I gotta hear.
Yeah.
This I gotta hear.
I mean, what do I start off with? Graphics, right? I'll do story last. Graphics. I've never played a game, and I played this on PC on ultra graphics. And I've never played a game before where I look at the fucking grass and the trees and like they're moving out of sync and in sync, if that makes sense. Like everything just looks
kind of like when you take a fucking really good hit of acid.
Yeah.
And you see everything moving, but it's not moving, man.
Yeah.
You know,
the graphics were fantastic. The mechanics, I mean, I'm learning a new mechanic every day. You know, the fight mechanics are kind of interesting because you get into fights with people, but if you have like, let's say you have a knife in your hand, it does a different mechanic when you're parrying. That's like correct. Different things. Interactions with strangers and other characters, amazing. You get a whole new experience every single time. Every single time.
I've mentioned this to you guys, and like I several times, and like I have yet to do it, but I was just talking to somebody last night. Like, I really need to plug in my fucking PS4 because I kind of just want to play fucking Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in a while, and I just kind of want to play that game again.
Yeah, and I went in. Now, as far as story, characters, best characters I've ever played or watched or anything in any type of anything I've ever consumed myself into. Okay. And I could already think of a fan cast in my head of what would make the perfect cast for this, but that's a whole nother episode. When we get to the story, you get sucked in. You learn about the Blackwater Massacre. You learn about like, oh yeah, the bunch of shit went down. They're running. You have no money. And you're just trying to figure it out, right, Jay? You're just trying to figure it out, trying to survive.
Homie.
I went the high on the road because I really wanted to understand the interactions and I wanted a more emotional, immersive experience. You go the high road with Arthur, and
you always go the high road on your fucking first playthrough. If you want to be a bad guy, fucking do that on your fucking second time around.
Yeah.
Like that's usually my rule of thumb.
If you want the best immersive playthrough, go high honor. or as
Yeah.
high honor as you possibly could, right?
Agree. With
Uh,
multiple games,
yeah,
not just like I agree with multiple games. Like
yeah.
that.
So you go in and you understand that you're with a group of people who are not necessarily all bad people. They're just in a bad situation. And you try to understand like these people, the people who are running around with Dutch Vanderlyn and all this stuff, and you meet these
It's a
characters that you don't like.
it's a literal gang.
Yeah,
It is a literal gang. I mean, we're not like that. Like
yeah,
that word. The word gang is not in fucking air quotes.
yeah.
In that,
And
you
what
know,
I
like,
love and what I love about the whole story, this is my favorite thing about the whole story. It's 1899. We're coming into a new century. And they know this. They know that the cowboy is all but dead now, and that we're coming into a new time, and that it's time that we need to adapt with the world.
right.
And that was the big issue. And Arthur knew what was coming.
Right. All right. Well, and that's like that's part. I that's part of the. I think the immersive part that you described of this game is that you almost take on the hopes, the desires, the fears. Like everything from the characters that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're far enough along. Like it's not, no spoiler alert needed. Like in the
In like 10 years.
in the epilogue, you play as freaking
John,
you play as fucking John.
which leads into the next game.
No, which led to the fucking prequel
Well,
Red Dead Redemption.
first-
was the first game, and so
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it leads into the
and
yeah,
that's like anywho.
yeah,
Like,
but
they need to remaster that motherfucker. Can you imagine playing like Red Dead Redemption? Like
what they need to do is some asshole, because it's the same map. Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2 are the exact same map. So
yeah,
if
they just expanded it.
If some virgin could just take 168 hours to mod the whole story into this engine, you're good.
I'm telling you, dude. Like,
Look,
we just gave Rockstar freaking another $1 million idea.
I did.
$1 billion idea.
Now, you feel for the gang, you feel for the people start dying, and that's when you start really understanding, like, damn, this is starting to get real crazy. And Arthur is he's really just trying to get away from it all. He's in love with the woman. You have all these other characters like Strauss, who's collecting money, the Trelawney, who you don't even know if you could trust the guy, but because he's always running. And then you got Dutch and Micah. And we're skipping forward. And when you get to it, you find out.
Fucking
Micah. Are you okay with the spoiler? Do you know what happens in the end? You're familiar? Mm-hmm. Okay. We all know Michael comes in, kills Arthur. Dutch does nothing about it. That moment, well, what actually started giving me the feels was when he came back from Guarma, the Cuban island.
Yeah, when you get stuck there.
Yeah, and when he started coming back and the music that played, that started setting the tone with like, oh shit, something bad is happening. Meanwhile, this whole time, you're still dealing with the fact that Arthur has tuberculosis.
Yeah, because that dude fucking coughed on him.
Yeah.
When he fucking killed him. Like, that's fucking like that. And like, he brought it on himself, basically. Like,
and if you actually think about it, if you continue that storyline with the Downs family, that story ends. You find the woman becomes a prostitute. And because her husband died, and then Arthur gives her all the money, and she goes and lives a happy life with her son because Arthur felt so bad. And that is another part of taking the high road. Right. But, now we have Arthur dying, and you're just like, he tells John, you need to go and be a man. I ain't going to make it. And he tells Dutch, I gave you all I had, which is the last words that Dutch told to Arthur in the camp before shit went crazy. Dutch said to him, I gave you everything I had. And Arthur said the exact same thing to him as his final words in the game.
That's right.
Now, do you think you finish the game and you go into the epilogue, you're like, oh shit, John Marston's wearing the clothes from the original game. We're building the house. You're getting more story.
Dude, can I
interject?
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I am so sorry to interrupt. The fucking house building scene.
That was
The house
One of
building scene, dude. Like, I was so fun to like. You
actually,
you tell me. You tell me.
I think when I started playing that section, I was like, oh my god, I'm playing RP. I'm playing RP.
It's
This is what
basically
we do
like
in RP. You're building the house. You're doing all this stuff, and I couldn't be any more excited because that actually was the fun part, the best part for me, playing on the farm, milking the cows, and shit like that. Like that really made a whole new essence of the game, but it built such a story when you actually get
and
to the ending.
and then there was more missions.
Yeah,
Like, they
a
gave
hell of a
you.
lot more missions.
Yeah,
Ab-
it wasn't short. Like, that epilogue is not short. That was like a, like you're immersed for like several hours.
I felt like I watched a 7-season show.
Oh God, yes.
That's what I
Easily.
that's what I
Fucking
felt like.
easily.
And
Easily.
yeah, I felt like I watched a 7-season show. I loved it. It is easily a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. What I love about it, actually, no, we're gonna backtrack that and we're going with 10 out of 10. And I'm gonna say 10 out of 10 because of its historical accuracies when it comes to the language of certain people that were around. Like when you go the roads, you're dealing with a lot of racist people, and there's actually a scene where you see an African American male who looks like he's doing really good for himself, and he says to Arthur, did I offend you just by sitting here? And Arthur says, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, like Arthur doesn't understand racism. And that, like, I think that playing with that small little tidbit in the storyline really built a world around you to understand, like, there's no more slavery. The Civil War is over. People, the world is building. The future is coming, and people are just trying to understand each other. And I think the whole thing, the whole world building around that game it made me real emotional. I did cry. I cried like a bitch.
Yeah.
It with Arthur dying, and even in the end, with the house building, like even like seeing everything that John Marston went through, and to have everything that he has after that, and then to know what happens after.
Yeah, because because you played Red Dead Redemption, right? And then you're
Yeah.
like, to know that, like,
What happens, it's like that's his story. Fucking fantastic. 10 out of 10. Now I'm going to get to the conversation that I want to trigger you guys about. Cheap plug, Clean Sanchez Radio exists now. I'm finally on internet radio. This isn't me to plug what I'm doing. This is me to talk to you guys about when the fuck are we doing DD214 Gaming Radio. That's all I'm saying.
I think that can definitely be a thing.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of things that we do need to talk about it. Like you do need you need an iOS. You need either an iPad or an iPhone to use it, and that's right now. That's just right now because this app just came out. I want to say a couple months ago. It's less than a year old. It's huge. They're big names on it, and you remember what we talked about? How we just wanted to just talk and play our own music. Well, you could do this with On Amp, and this is not an affiliation. This is not a commercial. This is to let people know you want to be your own radio DJ. It's time to bring DD214 Gaming into that space.
I think that might be a very interesting side project.
Yeah,
that might be a very, very interesting side project, and I think that would be fun to play around with a little bit. But you have to fucking have an Apple product, really?
Only because
am I gonna have to go like beat up a homeless person and like roll them? Freaking, like,
it's actually funny that you said you have to beat up a homeless person for an iPhone because homeless people have homeless people have iPhones.
I don't beat up.
Are we wrong?
I don't beat up homeless people.
No, you don't. No, we know. No, but
what a terrible joke, dude. That was dark.
No, but wait a minute. Like they do have iPhones. That's the thing. Like if you go, I'm telling you, you go to New York City and you see like they're asking for change, but they have a fucking iPhone in their hand. Like it's a thing.
I don't necessarily judge that. Like
no, I don't. Oh no, I'm not judging that at all. I'm just saying it's a thing.
I'm for sure. Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like you pretty much have to own a cell phone. To exist in today's world. So like it doesn't. Yeah, like you probably go homeless before you lose your cell phone, right? So like that's kind of like.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes
sense. Yeah. So the whole thing in this is that the app is called On Amp, and we can play any music that we want. You know what I mean? And we could.
How are they getting around that with like DMCA and stuff like that?
Think
How?
about let's think
Is
about
it
like
monetized? Is it monetized?
it can be monetized.
How? Fucking how? Then how the fuck?
We need the viewership. We need the
Oh my
fans to come
fucking-
in. That's it. That's
Oh
just
my
how that works.
Fucking God, dude.
Here's how. I'm looking at it right now, John.
Let's go,
Jay
Scolini.
and John.
Please explain it to
You
me.
want to
like
know
I'm a
who
fucking
owns
child,
this
'cause-
product? You want to know who owns this fucking
I
product?
already know who owns it. Yeah. Tell him.
No,
Tell him.
John. Amazon. So Amazon,
Yep.
because they have the licensing for all this music through Amazon Music, that's how you get away with it.
There you go, Jay.
I hate this fucking world, dude.
It is Amazon product.
I hope this entire fucking world burns down, dude. But I'm down to fucking do a side project. I hope this entire fucking world burns down, dude. Like Jesus.
Yeah, and you don't even need. I mean, it would be behoove of you to have headphones and with a microphone on it, but you don't need it. Like the main talk about this I want to bring up is that this is a brand new technology that guys like us could take advantage of, because now we can vibe out and talk, listen to our own music, you know,
fair,
and
fair,
you know,
fair on that.
Yeah,
and I mean, also fair that this wouldn't be the fucking first giant dick I've had to fucking suck in my life.
Now, I will say,
like, whatever.
Now, the people that we run our podcast under, Anchor, that's how they're not Anchor anymore. They're Spotify for podcasters. That's how they started. It used to be a solely mobile app, and it expanded into web based. So this could be a thing. You know what I mean? This could definitely be something that could happen. I would love. There is no military veteran radio on AMP right now, none. And
well, and the upside to it, if we did like DD 214 radio,
yeah,
it wouldn't be. I wouldn't even necessarily say we all have to sit together and do it. We could pick a day and each of us kind of do a show. That way, it's kind of like one day we get music and talk with John. Another day we get Jay's music and talk. Another day we get my music, and we share the music we like personally with our followers from DD214.
Yeah, and if we want to, I think it's up to. I haven't tried it out with 3. I tried it out with 2 people. I know you can have 2 people on a call. It's like you could have a host and a co-host on it. But again, it's still early. It's brand new. These things can and will change, but it is a nice rising. But Squilini, if you keep an eye on it, Jay, I'll give you more information on it. We could talk more about it, but it's something
since we're gonna be plugging all their bullshit, can you give me a fucking Apple product? Because there's not a single Apple product in my fucking home.
I know,
not fucking one.
I know. Let me see on the AMP. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be eventual that this is going to get out of the iOS realm eventually.
It sounds fun. I like how it sounds. I'm really confused and slightly disinterested based on the fact of who it's under and like how they're basically like shirking like why the reason we haven't been doing this already.
Actually, it's coming. Android and desktop are coming very soon. So
okay. Well, yeah, we'll fucking brainstorm on that shit. I really want to hear about this fucking like how they're getting around fucking like the whole reason we're already not doing that is because of fucking like laws and like people not getting paid for their fucking shit. And like
it's kind of it's the radio concept. So what it is in a sense, Amazon, since they own this product, and I know I keep fucking plugging fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
But Amazon, because they own this product, and then because Amazon has, contracts and licensing with almost every major label out there because of their Amazon Music product, which is kind of like Spotify or Apple Music. You're using the Amazon Music library to create
through their algorithm. Yeah.
So you're using their licensing
What if they don't
You're
have
just
the fucking,
hosting a show.
What if they don't have the licensing for the fucking songs I want to listen to?
Then
Then
they
the
get in
songs
trouble.
aren't going to be available.
Yeah, so you can actually, like, if you go on it, you type in the song, and there's some songs, if you type it in, it's not going to be there. Like, it legitimately won't be there. So
That's also going to make it difficult.
well, the ones who aren't going to get in trouble are the hosts. The ones who are going to get in trouble are Amazon. Again, this is a big opportunity, and
I like the concept. I definitely like the concept.
Yeah, so I mean, we're but it is coming to Android and desktop. So Jay, we'll keep you posted on that, so we could do some DD214 radio.
I've always wanted to fucking kind of do something similar to that, and
Yeah.
I have only been stymied by actual fucking laws and regulations that have been in existence for fucking decades. So like, it's one of those things where like,
Now Jay,
if we finally got a workaround, let's fucking make it work around then.
now Jay, now for those who aren't on iOS right now, you can actually listen to it. So would you be opposed to me and Squilini testing this out one day? We'll send you a link to listen.
Dude, you do whatever you want, dude. Like it's
okay, we're pirates.
Ain't nobody
Jay,
fucking
Jay,
ain't nobody here telling anybody else what
can
the
I
fuck
tell
to
you
do.
just something real quick? This is exactly pirate radio. Like, it is legal pirate radio.
That's what I'm trying. But that's why I asked about it being monetized. I was like, so who's actually making fucking money here? Because like, how can it be monetized when like all the rules? Whatever, dude. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't fucking care. Like, I mean, it's ultimately, it sucks that we're just gonna keep fucking feeding like Jeff Bezos' fucking like giant prolapsed asshole.
Hey, sometimes we gotta make sacrifices to get the things we want, my friend. We gotta make sacrifices.
That dude shot himself to space on a fucking giant dick, dude. Like, I mean,
he
seriously, dude. Like, but you know what, dude? Like, sometimes if you want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs, right? So
that's true. Well, speaking about omelets, I think it's time for the Roadhouse.
Oh shit!
You got that sound, Squilini? I got hiccups.
I think Squilini fell asleep. Like,
I didn't fall asleep.
I got his brain going on fucking.
I'm just fucking with him, dude. I'm just fucking with him.
Yeah, I'm researching.
Squilini likes it. Squilini, but Jay, I'm telling you, this could be once this thing comes to browser.
I believe
we're gonna have some fun. And to be honest with you, I'm just gonna fucking say it. If AMP does so good, and if this turns out to be good for us, because this is a whole new audience too, you know what I mean? If we tap into that, it could be an opportunity to be exclusive. I'm just saying, because that's a paid opportunity if they ever came to it. But there is a huge.
It's like I've always said. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Listen, man. We remember what I told you. What the goal was? Sirius XM, right? We don't. If AMP kicks off, Sirius XM is going to have a crazy competitor with this type of radio. Call me crazy for saying that, but I think there's a chance for competition because XM has been doing it for a long fucking time, and a company like AMP giving the people control of their radio station, it's time, baby. It's time. Let's go into the Roadhouse, and then we got the retro game of the week.
Let's do it. Well, pilgrims, it's good to see you again. Hope you have had a good week. It is always a pleasure to see your face when you walk in through them saloon doors. Come on down to Jay's Roadhouse. Let's have a beer together. Let's smile. Let's trade some stories. All right. So, did either of you two fine gentlemen fucking happen to fucking catch UFC last night?
I unfortunately didn't because I was crying my ass off.
Crying your wait.
With Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Fair. It's fair.
Fair. Squiddy, how about you?
No, I was busy with the, hanging out and cooking out with the neighbors and shit. So
good. No, that's okay. Those are all good. that's good vibes, man, on both accounts, right? Like even if you happen to be shedding some happy sad tears, you know what I mean, like combined, because that's what Red Dead Redemption does to you, right? But no, yesterday I had the opportunity to work at the T-Mobile Arena in downtown Kansas City for UFC Fight Night, and in keeping with freaking like fine J Roadhouse tradition, I didn't ask for a specific place to be stationed or whatever, but I happened to be placed on a. I have to be a little bit careful with like operational security on this one, you know what I mean? But it's like, let's just call it like the back door, and there's like a place where people still have to come through a metal detector and all that stuff, but it's where like the people come through the back door. Does that make sense, John? So like pretty much
the honchos, the fighters on the card, you know, they're executives, announcers,
their people,
all the flim flam.
Yeah, and the flim flam was on display, and it was like it was one of the most fun probably shifts I've ever worked doing security, because like part of the reason I picked up this particular show, the UFC Fight Night Kansas City, was just because I had never had the opportunity to work a UFC. Like there are certain security jobs I won't do, and I'm not joking when I say that. I stay away from certain shows, certain venues, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like I'm very fortunate in my life that I get to kind of choose, you know, when and how I do what I do. Does that make sense, John? And
absolutely.
Working a UFC, like I didn't have like, you know, any high expectations or anything. I've worked at the venue before. I think I did Morgan Wallen last year. You remember that one when I did the
I do. You were actually very excited about that one.
That one was a good one, and same venue. And anywho, so this particular time I just ended up like being the guy that, you know, passed people through security. And there were some people, and they were somebody's, right? So it was a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of name dropping on this show. I'm not a huge fan of like you know, it's really easy to over exaggerate when people are just people. You know what I mean? So Jay's Roadhouse this week is going to be a little subdued, but suffice to say, if they were probably like on TV in any regard last night, if you watched the ESPN like casts, if they were shown on TV, like they probably came through where your old pal and friendly neighborhood Jay just happened to get freaking like stationed for the evening. So cheers to the UFC. I know they put on a hell of a show last night. Their production level is off the charts. Still wish they would pay their fighters a little bit more, like, and not afraid to say that on the air, right, John?
I don't think any of them are afraid to say it either.
Dude, it's getting.
And Ngannou's gone,
bro. I saw people.
Hey Ben,
I saw people not just coming in but going out, and people. There were a couple of people that went out, or there were a couple of people that went out on stretchers. I saw winners of fights with abjectly horrific fucking injuries where it's like, dude, I don't want to walk on your leg when you're 50 and I've got fucking 12 years in the army and fucking like and being in the infantry under my belt. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to walk on that dude's fucking knees someday. And I already know how horrifically bad I probably fucked my body up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and for what they're getting paid, and we don't have to make it a political statement because we already talked shit about billionaires once on today's episode. So Jay's gonna try to keep it slightly subdued today with my hatred of corporations and fucking billionaires. But
keyword slightly, guys.
Slightly. Everybody was polite. The people. Pretty much everybody that came through was humble. I think I only pissed off like one or two people maybe, but if I'm pissing you off in security guard J mode, like it probably means you're the asshole. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
you're there to do your job.
even beyond that, like I'm overly polite, and I can assure you I do my job very, very well. Like, and I'm very professional. I've been dealing with people for a long time. I have a lot of background in customer service growing up in Tucson, Arizona. So even before I was digging ditches for $8 an hour in construction, I worked a couple years at a gas station. Fucking Kinkos. You guys remember fucking Kinkos? Like, where the fuck did those things go, right?
We kind of don't exist anymore.
Kind of don't. You know why? Corporate greed. Anywho, that's Jay's Roadhouse for the week. I hope it was good. If we're lucky, we might have another Roadhouse next week. I am slated to work again this week, probably a couple of Royals games. So if you're in the Kansas City area, like come on out to the games, fucking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe I'll see you out there. So yeah, you guys.
I love it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, now we're about to do the retro game of the week, and then we're going to talk about some Mandalorian.
Fuck yeah, Mando. This is the way.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
What's going on, guys? You already know it's that time again. That time for that retro game of the week. You guys enjoy that while I decide which build I'm gonna dig into this week. Peace out. Welcome back to another edition of Retro Game of the Week. It's your boy Gonzo. This week we're taking it really back before even my time, but because it has such a sentimental value to me, is why I chose this game. We're gonna go with Smurf on a ColecoVision. For my OGs, you probably remember this. It was around the time of Atari, ColecoVision, and television. It's kind of the growing era of video games. Nintendo wasn't out yet. Probably needed about 2-3 years before it dropped. This was the very first video game and console that I played, hands down. Before Super Mario, before Nintendo, before anything, I played this. The first time I saw this was in 1988, so obviously 6 years after this game came out. When I moved over from New York to New Jersey, I had this neighbor that invited me to his house, and he had a ColecoVision, and we played this game. Playing through this game now, I don't remember the fields, the caverns, the woods that you have to go through. I remember specifically the last part of the level or the game, which was Gargamel's Castle. Backtracked last year, or not last year, the year before, this video game store in Brooklyn made a post. They were just showing off merch that somebody had traded in and they were selling. It was a TV with this playing on it. I immediately remembered, wow, that's what I first played. Made the contact, DM, communication, and bought the ColecoVision. For those who remember, remember the control of the ColecoVision. For those who don't, this was it. It was a joystick and a number pad. 1 through 9 and 0, and star and pound. Yes, pound, remember? It was called the pound sign before social media made it a hashtag. But that's all it was. You didn't use the numbers for anything in Smurf besides the joystick, up was to jump, down to duck, left, right, and that's it. It was side-scrolling. You went from the Smurf house through the woods, jumping over fences, in the fields. You had to jump over long hedges and little mountains in the caves. It was an extension of the cave, like rocks and stuff. And then you got to Gargamel's Castle. Even through all of that, there was other obstacles besides for the ones that I mentioned, like spiders, hawks, bats, all different types of things. When you play, the game has 4 difficulties, 1 being the easiest, 4 being the hardest. That's what you actually use the number pad for, is in the beginning of the game to choose your difficulty. Playing through the game, play through the easiest one because, hell, I didn't know what to do. And even getting to the end, you have to jump on a skull to then jump to get the Smurfette, because that's the objective of the game, to get Smurfette. I had to go on YouTube to figure out that there was a double jump. I didn't know that. So obviously, went on YouTube, saw the double jump, blew my mind. I was like, no way. And then went back to the game, played it, and beat it, as you'll probably see right here. Then I played it on the hardest difficulty. Yeah, I didn't get anywhere. But there's really nothing much to the game. You know, it's ColecoVision. It's the early '80s. It's like the beginning era of video games. So there's not anything lackluster. There's not anything crazy that complex that they had to throw out for the audience or for the consumer to be appealed to. You know, you go through these obstacles and it's hilarious because you get hit and it's like, and it does this noise, and it's just the most simplest hit drop ever. But seeing all this unlock that memory from 1988, those feelings like me thinking it was a dream and no, man, it really happened. I really played this as a kid. It's crazy how I went from this ColecoVision to then I got introduced. Well, later that year, my brother, finally was like, "All right, you're old enough. You can play Nintendo." And I was freaking 4, and that's a whole other story for another day. But man, Smurf, it was a big thing in the '80s. Remember the cartoon, la 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 la, and all the singing and everything like that. And these little blue things just running around and stuff. Cartoons and kind of video games kind of went hand in hand depending on how the game was compared to the cartoon, or like a cartoon would come out and they make a game for it. I think later on that's when they would do like, hey, there's a cartoon, let's make a game. There's a game, let's make a cartoon or a movie for it type of thing. But for my OGs, hopefully I unlocked some memories. Basically I'm going to say for my 70s babies, because if you were an 80s baby, you didn't see this. I'm an 80s baby, I didn't see it. So like I was like 4 or 5. 70s babies, if there's any 60s babies out there, you're basically 70s babies and 80s kids and the 90s teens or 80s teens kind of thing, But hope you enjoy this week's game. Remember, thumbs up, thumbs down, criticize, critique, middle fingers, curse us out. Whatever the hell you would like to say about this video. Oh, your editing sucks. Oh, you should have retaken it. I'm doing this like it's live. One take and it's over. Remember, follow DD214 Gaming as well as Gonzo Gone Gaming on YouTube and other social media outlets. No end clip, or maybe, I'll probably show you a little bit of what I did with the double jump to the skull. But take care, guys. See you next time.
I have never in my life seen a ColecoVision ever. That was actually probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, like,
Jay,
how many times have I how many times have I fucking told you like what my first fucking system was?
It was that one?
It wasn't Coleco. It was I had an Intellivision. Was my first video game system.
Oh shit!
And when he says like the only thing he was slightly there is such a thing as like 80s babies who grew up on this, because like I was born in 81 and I grew up with that. That was my first video game system.
No shit. Okay.
That was my dad had purchased it, owned it, whatever at some point, and then gave it to me when I was like 6 or 7. Something like that. Something dark side, like early enough where like. And then eventually got a Nintendo, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years after that. Like it, yeah. So anywho, that was a fun one. What did you guys think about that? Like,
I actually was like kind of surprised. I'd never, I've heard of the ColecoVision, and I used to go to his house every fucking day for like 10 years straight. I never saw that in his house, and he always had like a treasure chest full of hidden goodies, that he always kept, like old computers, old boom boxes, old like compute gaming systems and stuff. But this is the one thing that I never saw in his house. So that's actually kind of interesting. What I love too, I'm looking at a picture of the console itself, and let me pull up the picture. It's very interesting. Let me make sure. Kind of just fits in there, you know what I mean? And I thought it was hilarious that he said that he called it the £sign before it was called the hashtag.
Yeah, so that's because that's what it was. That's
what it was. Squilini, what you think, man?
Go ahead.
I mean,
sorry, Jay.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm enjoying listening to like your guys' thoughts on this.
I've played the ColecoVision a few times. I just the controller or the control pad for it was always
The dial pad.
My least favorite out of all the retro controllers and stuff. ColecoVision's controller, definitely one of my least favorite.
Intellivision's is highly similar, and I would not I
Mhm.
would not disagree with that statement. It's not.
Yeah.
It is not the best setup for a good workable controller, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yep.
like when even like Intellivision had like a lot of like 2-player games where like your buddies could play with you, right? Like so did ColecoVision. It's like, but when when you're getting competitive with shit and like the controller's fucking you, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's not your lack of skill, the controller's fucking you. You know what I mean? Like so, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho,
But I mean,
Yeah,
that
great.
just shows how far controllers have come because
oh yes,
we used to have controllers where it was just a dial with a number pad.
oh yes, oh yes.
And now it's you've got, for
This.
example,
I mean, yeah, pick one. Pick
But
one.
there's so many iterations. There's this, the
I mean,
PlayStation. Yeah.
you've got, and now they even are making controllers where you can swap out the thumbsticks. You can
That's
add
what I'm saying.
on
Like, it's
back triggers that are programmable.
And
this
then
is
you
where-
also have controllers like the Steam Deck controller, which is like a mouse in the controller.
this is where I'll actually like be proud of video games for like how far they've come. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember that the early days, right? Like,
Yeah,
Gen 2
I mean, now you've got
ColecoVision and Intellivision are considered Generation 2 for video games. Just
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
for,
Yes,
for
they
everybody's,
are.
for everybody's information, like that's considered Generation 2. So like, if you remember the early days, like that's one thing that does make me proud of how far video games have come. Go ahead, Joe.
because I mean that's the thing. Like we went from with the ColecoVision, then the Atari where it was a joystick with one button, to
To
now
that.
to Xbox where it was you had a left and a right trigger button and then your joysticks X, Y, A, B.
Yep.
To now you've got the Switch where the controllers are completely detachable from the system.
I have a Wii U somewhere around.
So, you've got, you don't even need to buy an extra controller to do 2-player games with the Switch. Because
That's
each one of these can work as a single controller. Stupid, uncomfortable way to play.
now
but
we have
it
have controllers with screens on them. It's insane. It is insane. So, are you guys ready to get into some
Oh God.
oh
What do we do? Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about this motherfucker, dude. Like since I was a little delayed last week, especially by the fire of 1,000 suns fucking burning a hole through my fucking already non-existent soul. You know what I mean? Like
So-
freaking we got 2 episodes to fucking catch up and then finish the season on. 1 second, gentlemen. I apologize. Go ahead.
taking calls during work. So as you know, before the second to last episode, we're coming into, and with the height of Star Wars week, there's a lot of hype coming into this last episode that's coming up, man. A lot of hype. What do you are you excited like that it's coming to an end this season?
I mean, I'm excited to see where they go with this last episode. There's a couple things I've got some theories on that I definitely want to throw out there
Yeah.
once Jay's completely off the
Yeah,
phone and we can
we-
get his
Yeah,
reaction.
yeah, because he
Um,
loves to hear them. He loves to hear our predictions.
Well, and that's the thing that kind of I'm a little, upset with because obviously last week with the Easter episode and the Death Nut and all that, and Jay hadn't watched the episode yet. So we're kind of behind. Like he doesn't get to hear our predictions from
That
episode
last
6
episode.
going into episode 7. And now we're doing both 6 and 7 at the same time going into the last
Yeah.
episode.
Eight
Um,
8 is going to be very interesting. I think it's safe to say Bo-Katan's not dying because, like,
it's
with
safe to say Bo-Katan's not going to die.
yeah,
I'm interested to see what they do with Din since he's been captured.
yeah.
Um, I'm upset that Paz is gone.
Oh yeah, well, that we're gonna that's gonna Jay. I want to know what Jay thinks about that one because he knows that we've been
Um,
kind of talking about his like lineage and things like that. So it's like I I mean,
I mean,
what's
the
interesting
the
too? Like,
upside is the Vizsla lineage isn't completely dead because of his son.
yeah,
Um, I feel the Armorer is a fucking traitor.
hmm.
Mainly because how the fuck do they have Beskar armor and stuff? She kept telling people Mandalore was dead, convincing people not to try to go there. And then right before they walk into this trap, she goes back to the ship. She dips the fuck out.
There's a lot of like
Um,
one thing I'm kind of interested to see is no, we just had Star Wars week and they're talking about the new movies that are coming out and
mhm.
it's starting to feel very large scale. Like very large scale.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely tying things in more, like with this last episode when Moff Gideon was talking to the council, to all those other people. Not sure if you caught it, but one of the people that was there
Oh,
was
I know
Hux,
exactly. Yep.
who is the father of the Hux we get in the
Who
episode 789.
who is played by who is do you know who's played
It
by
was
him?
wasn't it his brother or something
Yeah,
that played it?
it's his fucking brother.
Yeah.
That is
Domahal
beautiful.
Gleason's brother played fucking Hux in this. Um, and then obviously Admiral Thrawn's name got dropped, which is leading into
Yeah.
Ahsoka, which we've already seen some images of Thrawn with the trailer that was released for Ahsoka.
Yeah, and some of the leaked ones that got out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
And I'm actually pretty excited for that because they have the the um the voice actor that voiced Thrawn in the
yep.
animated is playing the live action
Yeah,
Thrawn.
Lars Mikkelsen, who obviously is the brother of Mads Mikkelsen, who is killing it in video game and Hollywood right now. Mads Mikkelsen is in Death Stranding. You
Mhm.
know, Lars is in he's been doing it for a long time. Like he's been doing the role of Thrawn for a long time. But yeah, Jay, let's
Yeah.
so second to last episode. That's the Jack Black episode, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So
then
wait a
like
minute.
Lizzo and Jack
So
Black.
Lizzo, Jack Black, and Christopher Lloyd.
yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Kind of interesting episode, a comedy filler, if you will. I kind of threw that in there as
It
as
wasn't
that.
bad. It
It
wasn't
wasn't
bad.
bad.
It wasn't bad. I jest a lot about Jack Black, but the reality is like he is a national treasure and he's good at what he
He is.
does.
And he's
And
humble
so
too. He's kind of humble too.
it was a very fun episode. Like
But
it
Squilini
absolutely was.
points out that one thing that you said earlier about Jack Black's appearance on that episode.
It just it kind of it's the whole they kind of do stuff sometimes in Hollywood when a big project's coming out. So, they cast Jack Black to play this minor role in Mandalorian. The episode comes out the Wednesday before the Super Mario Brothers movie,
And he's
and
Bowser
then
and he's Bowser and fucking Mario.
he's Bowser and fucking Mario.
Marketing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Mhm.
well, we live in a marketable society, right? We're over here discussing like live on the air, like selling the fuck out and doing radio because it might be fucking like that much easier and that much simpler, right? Like, and is that not a fucking statement on the society we live in, right? So
You're
like
right.
that's like that this is reality. Unfortunately, like this is the future that we made for ourselves, right? It's 2023, it's the future, and like
Yeah.
this is the future that we we made for ourselves and that and or was created for us. So we get to reap
Mhm.
kind of what we sow with that one.
Mhm.
So anywho, Mandalorian was fucking fun. Did you guys enjoy how much your predictions came correct? Because I was like just sitting there like, they fucking knew that was gonna happen. They fucking knew that was gonna
The
happen.
only thing I didn't
Uh,
expect was Bo-Katan to get the Darksaber so soon.
I did.
I was just gonna say I'm pretty sure you guys had a very
I called
you guys
that.
had a discussion about that like on
I called that 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Oh,
Because
and they were gonna bring it was
I
gonna bring it
knew
was gonna bring the tribe back together.
I knew that
You know
was
what I
the
mean?
only
Like,
way that was gonna bring the ones that broke away from
Oh
Bo-Katan back
shit,
into the
Brandon.
fold.
We're over here
fucking,
spoiling the show for Brandon.
oh, I'm sorry, Brandon. Have you never seen oh look, there's a spoiler alert for all if you keep up on the show,
Oh
Brandon, it's probably
no.
poor Brandon. It's probably not his fault. He just doesn't pay attention good. Right?
You
Like
know,
we've only been doing this for like the last like 8 episodes. So no biggie, Brandon. It's not your fault, brother.
you know
We
what's
still
the
love
best
you.
thing is that we're all army. Our
Yeah,
army brains
all
is
of
what
us are
happened.
armies. So yeah, it's like you just
But
came into the smoking circle, freaking like a little
Mhm.
a little too soon probably for yourself. Like
Yeah.
if you kept up on the show, these two have called all this shit. So when I was watching the episodes, I already had it spoiled for
Yeah.
me too. Don't
So
worry.
all right, so Jack Black episode's done. We find out Christopher Lloyd's the bad guy. Then we come into the next episode and shit starts getting fucking haywire. You want to break it down, Scolini?
So everybody gets brought together, both sides, and we're back on what's that planet?
Navarro?
Yeah, we're back on Navarro. Good old Carl Weathers. Fucking
Apollo Creed.
fucking
Apollo Creed.
he's fixed up IG-11 to a degree. Now it's IG-12, and instead of it being a complete robot, it is made to have a cockpit for Grogu to sit in.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the comedy with Grogu, just complete childlike nature. Keeps
And how they
pressing that
and how
yes
they
and no
used
button.
it. And how they
No.
used it.
Yes. Like he finally has a voice and it's a goddamn robot, right?
Mhm.
Right? That's kind of like
But you notice how like
But
they
you
use
know
that
who
for
does
dogs.
that voice?
Who?
Takiti Watiti.
Of course it's
Who's that?
him.
Who the
Of
fuck is
course
that?
it's him.
Who's that?
He's everywhere
So-
right now.
Well, I mean,
He voiced IG-11 in the first season of Mando.
He directed a couple
He
Thor
directed
movies.
Thor Ragnarok.
He's actually in a
Um,
Star Wars show, isn't he? He did like a small part in a Star Wars show.
He was the voice of IG-11 in Mando season 1.
Okay.
He did something else. Hang on.
You guys, this is where you guys like just always like outperform yourselves, like with the tidbits and the behind the scenes stuff. Like I legitimately had no clue who that guy, like who this guy is. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm reading.
Yeah, because he directed Thor Love and Thunder. Or not directed, but he voiced the rock guy in the Thor movies.
Yeah, I because I watched him. I'm mistaken him with something recently that he made a major cameo in it. He was wearing a robe, and I just interpreted that as him doing something Star Wars because of the robe. I can't remember what it was, but it was a big cameo. Might have been Marvel. Anywho, So where we at now? So shit starts getting crazy. IG 11, IG 12.
Yeah, Grogu is in charge of IG-12 now, and then
Now he's annoyingly using this stuff, but how he uses it to turn around to make an emotional moment on the boat. Which actually, if you notice, one of the Mandalorians is played by Skinny Pete from Breaking Bad.
Skinny Pete.
You never watched Breaking Bad?
I did, but I'd have to go back, and I don't. Again, you guys outperform yourselves with the fucking nerd shit, dude. Like I can't keep
He did
up
some
with that
voiceover
shit,
work in Rick and Morty also.
Yeah, he did.
But Grogu now has a fucking voice. It's a temporary voice until Grogu gets older and actually starts speaking on his own. But they did it in my opinion, the way they did that was perfect, because that's just like the epitome of any fucking child.
They did. Both
And
episodes were.
But you got to remember too, they do that to communicate with animals too.
Yeah,
Both
episodes were absolutely stellar. Like I'm curious, what did you guys think about the fucking
Well, now the big fight happened, and fucking Paz is dead. Like a fucking a soldier's way to go, nonetheless. Dare I say, like he went down fucking.
He went down like
fighting.
a fucking G, homie. He went down like a fucking G, homie. That's how if you're gonna go down, that's how you fucking go down. Like fucking make your fucking final stand, dude, and
then that's how the fucking episode ends. So
you make it one that the fucking that they sing songs about fucking 100 years later. Dude.
So predictions.
Here's my predictions. Armorer is a traitor.
Ooh.
We're gonna find out. She knew Gideon. She helped Gideon escape, because how else, A, would they have Beskar armor? B, if you look at Moff Gideon's helmet, it is the exact same design as the armorers.
Oh.
B, or C, she kept trying to convince people not to go to Mandalore and try to explore and see what things were like there.
So that Moff Gideon could do his dirty business in there.
After she had Bo-Katan bring the rest of the Mandalorians and kind of bring both sides together. D, her bitch ass fucking left before they got captured.
I'm going to say nothing, because like you guys are always right about this shit. So like this is what you're going to see in season 4 of The Mandalorian. Get ready for it. There's only going to be 8 episodes, and Joe just fucking wrapped it up for you.
So I think we're going to get a major death. I don't think it's going to be Bo-Katan, just because of the way
I don't think it'll be Din either.
I don't think it'll be Din either. Even though there's some conflicting stories going out right now with Pedro Pascal, even though he's barely in the suit half the time. There's some interesting stuff. And the reason why I don't think they're going to kill those two off is because the way that the actress Katie Sackhoff speaks about Bo-Katan, she says, I'm super excited to go, because she's been playing the character since the cartoon. It's been the same person the whole time.
It's really cool that they were able to do that. I am gonna say, like, I'm not near the freaking Star Wars buff or nerd that I used to be, and like it dropped off in my life like almost 2 decades ago, and like, but seeing that has been like really fun. Seeing that has been.
And
like,
here's my final prediction for the last episode of the season. We're gonna have Thrawn.
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna see Thrawn right at the end. I think he's gonna show up. I think it's gonna be like a thing.
He's gonna show up, and then it's gonna segue into Ahsoka later this year. That's how they're gonna fucking do that.
So I think we're gonna get like a Luke Skywalker moment, right? Where something big is happening with Moff Gideon. And maybe I think right now with Moff Gideon, it's a 50-50 chance he's gonna die. That like it's like
I was gonna say like he's probably got like if I have one prediction, he's gonna die.
It's gonna be 50-50. Now it's either gonna be in the hands of a Mandalorian or it's gonna be in the hands of Thrawn. What do you think?
I honestly feel like we're gonna get some kind of Jedi action
But who?
Ooh.
because
Who?
each season we've had some form of Jedi pop up towards the end of the fucking season
God damn it.
and fix shit.
You're right.
Season 1, Luke Skywalker. Season 2, Ahsoka.
God damn it, dude. I fucking hate
Ezra
you.
Bridgers.
I fucking hate you.
Ezra's gonna fucking show up.
Ezra.
You know who else I hate? I hate fucking Disney. I hate fucking Apple. I hate fucking Amazon.
So
too.
it's not gonna be Qui-Gon, right?
No. Either
wow,
we're gonna
I
get
didn't
Ezra
even think of-
Bridgers,
I didn't.
we're
think
either gonna
about
get
that.
Ezra or Darth Maul.
I keep on hearing about Darth Maul. I don't know why. I keep on hearing about him.
So here's why. The Children of the Watch, so the sect of Mandalorians that Mando belongs to,
Yep.
were the Death Watch at one point, and were Darth Maul's personal Mandalorian guards, in a sense, / mercenaries / assassins.
Shit.
It's gonna be, but see, here's where I'm heavily leaning on Ezra because Thrawn's back.
Yeah.
At
That
the
makes
end
a
of
lot
Rebels-
of sense.
At the end
Thrawn
of Rebels,
disappeared
Thrawn
with
and
Ezra
disappeared
Together.
Oh boy.
So if Thrawn's back, Ezra should be back too.
Mhm.
Tune
That
in.
is a wild.
Tune in this.
And then
Wednesday,
if you
tune in
look
this
at it,
Wednesday tune in this Wednesday to get Mandalorian fucking spoiled for you by Joe.
Ah,
if you look at it, and here's going off a track record so far. So in Mando, we've had Chopper show up,
Zeb.
we've had Ahsoka show up, and we've had Zeb. Across the 3 seasons, we've had 3 people from Rebels show up.
We've seen Sabine in the trailer.
And with Ahsoka in the trailer for that, we've seen Sabine and we've seen Hera.
Yeah. Who was played by Ian McGregor's wife, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yes.
So
Jay's like, how the
only-
fuck do you know this shit?
It's good. I enjoy
from
it.
a
Again,
track
like,
record standpoint,
It's good. It's good.
we're due for another Jedi appearance.
I like the camaraderie this show is kind of like combined in all of us because this is like the one Disney / Star Wars / Star Trek / freaking like all the shit from my childhood that they've ruined, over the years. This one has been done consistently over 3 seasons, very, very and extremely well. And they have continued with that. Like they have done very, very well with this show. So
They have.
It genuinely it's genuinely fun to like interact with you guys about it because it's like
Now,
one of the few things I don't think is a giant piece of fucking shit, right? Like,
now here's my other thing, and we don't really know. I don't know how true this could be. What would be really badass is if instead of it being Ezra or Ahsoka or Luke that shows up as the Jedi or Darth Maul showing up, Cal Kestis.
I don't even know who that is.
That's Dominic Monaghan from the Jedi Fallen game.
Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor games.
Yep.
He's another Jedi that's still alive during this timeline.
It's in that timeline too. It could. God damn it, Scolini. God fucking damn it. God damn it.
So we've got 5 different ways, 5 different people that could show up that are Force wielders in this last episode.
God, Disney, don't do this to us. Don't do this to us.
Watch. I'm telling you, dude.
Jay's right at something.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, if I am wrong and a Jedi doesn't show up, I owe both of y'all a beer.
Oh, you're fine.
I'll take whiskey.
No, fuck that, because I will fucking, and I'll go on record and state that fucking like watching The Mandalorian this season has been a lot more fun because of how like right and the conversations the two of you would have about it And it was like just rewatching what you guys had talked about on Sunday, except it didn't happen until Wednesday. And it's happened higher. So if you happen to be wrong about this, Joe, like if you just happen to be wrong this time, like I challenge everybody to go back through the rest of the season and see how much shit you spoiled for me the entire season up to this point. Like the entire fucking season. It's like you guys call this shit every week.
Isn't it funny how Jay's probably just sitting there and he's sitting like just like this, and he's just like,
here it comes. Here it fucking comes. Oh, we have
Bohica
in the army. Bohica, yeah. Bend over. Here it comes again.
Yeah.
Like,
so
the only episode that I don't think me or John really guessed anything on was that episode you fell asleep.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was a piece of shit. That was the first piece of shit episode in the entire fucking series.
In 3 seasons.
In three
seasons so far. That was the crappiest.
Boy, did they lay a fucking turd on that. That was just.
And I'm just gonna kind of reverse back to season 1 of Mando, and the pure. I'm gonna call it a nerdgasm I had in that final episode when they're in the fucking bridge of that ship, and that fucking TIE fighter or the damn fucking X-Wing shows up.
Yeah. That shit got me.
And then all of a sudden
goosebumps.
you just see a fucking green lightsaber ignite. And I'm like, holy fuck, babe, it's Luke. Luke's here. And she's like, how the fuck do you know that's Luke Skywalker? Gloved hand, green lightsaber.
Gloved hand, yep.
Yeah. Because I've seen Return of the Jedi like
the details
times. Yeah, like in my life, in my childhood, right? So
and,
anywho.
With that episode from the final episode of season 1, what made it even better was the fact that they had Hamill do the voiceover for the fucking younger actor that they just faked his face on.
Yeah, a younger looking Luke. Yeah.
Well, shit. That was that was a ride, and we have one more episode. I can't wait. Next week, Brandon, you do need to watch Mando. That's your requirement. You need to watch Mando if you want to get on if you want to be on the show next week.
catch up on Mando, dude. Like Joe just.
What the fuck are we gonna do after this fucking season's over? Like, what's the next show we all need to watch together so we can spoil it every week?
Six.
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 Say it 3 times. There. Oh, you did it! You did it without me having to ask. Oh, I'm so proud of you, John. You're growing up, and you're just growing up.
Because I mean, shit, we did Last of Us, which then ran over into Mando. Because the first episode or 2 of Mando was during the last 2 episodes of Last of Us.
Yeah.
Well, now we need another show. We need to figure out something else for us.
You know what? What we can do? We could throw some names in a hat, and we'll put it in a poll.
You know what? Maybe. Here's the challenge for everybody that watches our show, whether it's while we're live or after the episode airs. Drop comments on the episode of some shows you'd like us to fucking watch and review.
Oh God, that's dangerous.
Yeah,
dude. That is dead. That's probably the most dangerous thing anybody's asked to do on this show.
Even if we've watched it, we'll rewatch it.
Yeah, probably. And then
I'll rewatch it. But guys, thank you so much. I think it's safe to say that Brandon Cleary will be with us next week, talking to us about the highs and the lows of Army recruiting.
Oh God, if he's a recruiter, then like, yeah, I'm gonna like drink beer for him, dude. Like I just like out of like mass sympathy, dude. Like that's if that dude's on the recruiting side right now, like
he said Carnival Row.
Yep. Hey man, don't feel bad. I live in the carnival freaking like in Kansas City, so don't feel too bad. Okay.
Like, but you guys already know.
Look forward to having them. Yeah.
Go ahead, but yeah, come on in next week. I'm gonna send you that form in like less than an hour. Guys, come by next week. I mean, you guys are kicking ass checking out our YouTube. We couldn't be more grateful. So
holy crap, dude! Like,
come hang out here.
People like watching us suffer, even though we deserve suffering. Like, apparently, people like watching us suffer because that episode fucking kind of took off like a small rocket. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. So come by next week with a Brandon Cleary interview. We're going to talk about recruiting. We all have recruiting stories that we want to share, so there might be something that he could probably relate to.
I actually was put on recruiting orders, and I was fortunately I was disqualified from being a recruiter. So like,
well, you need to hang on to that story for next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah, hang on to that one. But
The
final thought, I'll take the final thought this week if you guys don't mind. I don't even think we even discussed that.
No, it is your week.
Oh yeah. So
Squillini had it last week. So
yeah. So guys, you already know what time it is, and I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it like we always do. Okay. 22 a day is still the statistic that is out there. 22 a day. Civilian, military, law enforcement, whatever it may be. The numbers are too high. Even if one takes his own life today, that's still way too many. That's one less person that's not going to eat dinner with the family tonight, and that's got to change. So, guys, make sure you contact the National Suicide Hotline. That's star 988 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Talk. Okay, guys, you need to talk. Okay, we all have bad weeks. You know what? Yesterday, I had a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday, and I talked. I talked it out.
Had a bad day during one of my best weeks this week, like literally. Like how does that? Go ahead, John.
No, but it's true.
It happens.
Even in your best weeks, you have a bad day. So, guys, if you have a bad day, if you're having a bad year, if you're just feeling like shit, man, give me a call, Squillini, Jay, hit up somebody in the DD214. Guys, we're here for you. We're here for you.
What we do.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing of what we do.
Tell us, give us an address, and we'll be there with the beer.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like we can make it happen, dude. Like we just got to keep each other together. This is a tribe, and like this tribe's mentality is we don't quit.
So. Absolutely. And guys, it's actually very interesting. We all wore hats today, so
we did.
To the Hat Gang,
yeah,
DD214 Gaming. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to another episode, and stay tuned for DD214 Radio. This could be an exciting new feat for us, and something. To be honest, the original goal in the first place. So
I'm not gonna lie, it is an intriguing concept. So you have my attention. So
yeah. Yep.
Guys,
see you next week, motherfuckers.
It's always a fucking pleasure, dude.
Drink
always a fucking
water.
Pleasure. Drink water.